Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Change of pace. Did you know we sell industrial machines? It's not something everybody knows. Sometimes they're hiding in the front of the store. Sometimes they're not. So this particular machine that I've got in front of me today is a Titan 8700D. And it is a high-speed straight stitch machine. So if you like to sew a million miles an hour and you just go fast and straight, this is a lovely machine to sew on. It comes built into the table that it's on. So the table is not quite 2 feet deep, but just about 4 feet wide. And the machine plunks in there pretty easily. The 8700D has a built-in motor in the back of the machine, whereas lots of industrials have a motor that mount up under the table. So it'll mount up back under there. But this one, the motor's built in. And that gives you some other options as far as speed control and needle positioning. So this machine, you can have it stop with the needle all the way up, which I really like. The way to think about an industrial machine is if you were working in a shop trying to sew as fast as you could all day long because you're getting paid piecework for the sewing you're doing, an industrial might be a good fit. You can get an industrial to fit kind of whatever need you have, and we can get really specific. So the 8700D is essentially a tailoring machine. It's designed for garment sewing kind of weights of fabric. The other one I have here in store right now is the Titan 650, and it's more of an upholstery machine. Oh yeah, it's quiet too. Some of the older industrials have what's called a clutch motor, which is just on all the time, making an awful noise. Servo motor is either the one built into this machine or mounted under the table that only makes noise when you're actually pressing on the gas pedal. So maybe we'll thread this all the way. So the thread stand is built into the table and up out of your way. And then your first set of thread guides for threading the top of the machine are across the top. Oh, today is a day where I should have worn glasses to thread the machine. So we're wrapping in and out a couple times. Pretty easy. Your next thread guide is over here. It gets another little wrap. We're going up and through the first tension unit. Down through there. And right now the presser foot is down, so the tensions are closed. A little easier to thread if you lift the presser foot up. And I'm using the knee lift to lift the presser foot on this machine. It's a much happier way of doing that than trying to do it with the manual lift at the back. It's also way more efficient to be lifting with your knee than taking your hands off your sewing. To lift through there. And then at the needle, there's a finger guard on this machine. So the big wire thing in front of the needle there is if you are sewing at 3,000 stitches a minute, you don't run the risk of sewing through your finger. And then on this machine, the needles don't have flat backs. They're industrial needles with round tops. And the needles actually get threaded from left to right, which is a little bit different than your home machine. And that's just based on where the hook is in the machine. So the top of the machine is threaded there. The other funky thing that happens here is that the machine is self-lubricating. So I'm actually just going to tip it back up out of its oil pan. Because for all the people who like the innards of machines, this is fascinating stuff. So the hook is on the lower shaft, and your hook and your bobbin case are facing out to the left, which is quite different from most of your home machines, which face out towards you. So when you first get the machine, you might be more comfortable tipping the machine back to get the bobbin case in and out. But there is a hole to reach your hand up from underneath the table. And once you're comfortable with getting the bobbin case in and out, you can do all of this without popping the machine up. But once in a while you should pop it up. Just like the oil tank on your car, you do need to check that you have enough oil in your oil pan. There's a high and low mark. There's a little magnet that sits down in the bottom to collect any metal dust and shavings so it doesn't get pumped back up through the machine. And then this big thing over here is the pump that will pump the oil through your machine all the way, which is very cool. So bobbin case is back in, or pull it out. And bobbins on this bobbin case look like that. When the thread goes in, goes up and under the spring, and it should be turning clockwise when it's threaded. That's the right orientation for that. And set it back down. And the nice thing about an industrial is it will sew all sorts of crazy things that you might be hesitant to sew on your domestic machine. I'm going to start with a couple layers of denim. And this machine isn't fancy. It goes forward and backward and you can change the stitch length. That's it, that's all. It doesn't do anything else for you. There is industrials with zigzag options, but they're not nearly as common. I'll put the brakes on the table so the table doesn't walk away from me. There's nice markings right on the machine for your stitch, for your seam allowance. So at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, stitch length is set at 3 right now. I can't drive straight while I'm filming. I can hardly see that thread too. So you can go back through that. Reverse. Lovely. Oh, that's only set at 1,000 stitches a minute right now. That's not even screaming fast. "3,500 stitches a minute" looks more like this. That didn't set it.
Well, that's fast.
Right? Probably not your first day. You're probably not going that fast on your first day. So that was just 2 layers of denim. I'm going to put the speed safer back down somewhere safer, because I'm not ready to sew at that speed. But if your job was to make hems for curtains and you needed speed, this is the way to go. The right tool for the job.
Did you have to push the button after you taught this?
Yep. Good job, Tyler. And that's why there's a finger guard. So that's 2 layers of denim. Let's go up to 4. We're back down to 1,000 stitches a minute. Okay, 4 layers of denim. Still no struggle at all. Maybe let's go up to 8. So 8 layers of denim, still totally doable. Motor has way more juice in it than a regular machine. So the other thing that industrials have is like the craziest assortment of presser feet available. So in the industrial series, there's Teflon feet. There's specific piping feet for each size of piping that you might want to do. There's zipper feet. And these are just skinny, skinny, skinny little feet for the zipper feet. So you're able to get in right next to a zipper and have your needle going down right next to the teeth. And there's left and right versions of most of these available. So if you have a very specific job that you want to do, there's a specific foot for an industrial to make it happen nicely. Oh, I grabbed 2 Teflon feet. That was silly. So a Teflon foot will be your friend if you're sewing with something really sticky. So this is some waxed canvas. The Teflon foot will slide over that nice and easily. It'll also be good on vinyl, cork, some leather. It's awesome. But here, how about some waxed canvas and some, ooh, we have soft and stable back here. Dawn found me a fun assortment of things to sew with. So soft and stable is often used as a bag interfacing. We could easily sew soft and stable into our waxed canvas. With the waxed canvas, we're gonna change feet. Okay, let's try this again with a better foot for the job. Again, right tool for the job. Teflon foot, pretty happy, other than I just shoved the soft and stable in there without being super careful about how I set that seam up. If you like bag making, this machine or the step up from it, the 650, would probably be a very happy machine to work on. So, lots of fun feet available. So, like I said, machine doesn't do a whole lot besides going forward and backward and needle up and down and changing the stitch length, but it's the right tool for some of your jobs. Okay, so on waxed canvas, there is wax left on my feed dogs right now. Scraping it off with a clean toothbrush works fairly well. Rubbing alcohol will also take the wax and pick it up and move it off the relevant moving parts of your machine. Down in your hook system, if there's wax built up in there, I would oil and clean really carefully. So that's all in there. Oh, this is some Craft Tex. Let's sew through that next. Craft Tex is like leather and paper and fabric all combined into one magical product. It makes cute, cute wallets. And it sews just great. And it softens as you wash it. So this is another fun thing that you can sew on this machine. So forward and backward. That's essentially it. So lever all the way down. So this is stitch length. This one goes from 0 millimeters to 5 millimeters. And it's push in and turn to change it. If you push down on the reverse a little bit, it's easier to turn. It doesn't do much. It goes forward and backwards, but it does it really fast with a lot of accuracy. And the 1/4 inch foot that I would recommend for this machine is actually a compensating foot. So it has a high and a low spot to butt up next to your fabric, edge of your fabric. It's very, very accurate. There's lots of fun feet. There's broad range of needle sizes for this one. So you've got options. Thanks for joining me on my little tiny tour of the Titan 8700. Little tiny tour. If this is the right machine for what you're trying to sew, get in touch. You can email sewingmachines@mysewingroom.ca or give us a call at 403-252-3711. Thanks for joining me today. Be safe, be kind, be calm, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.